Hey guys, Igo Ninja here, and welcome back to another episode of StoneBlock 3. If you can't tell, we're processing up a whole bunch of what I hope is the last batch of resources that we'll need to set up some additional create items, because I've been busy off camera getting our new area ready to go. So let's go take a look at what we've been working on. So at first glance, it may not look like we've changed too much, but in reality, I've actually spent several hours working on getting everything cleaned up and optimized. We still got a lot of work in front of us, but we've came a long way and I'm feeling a lot better about the base. So we're gonna start over here. You'll notice that we have finished out the area to match the other side. And we did this on a stream in between episodes. We spent about 3 hours removing all the cobblestone and then bringing over our decorative touch to both floors from the other side. Now you will notice there is one last bay that isn't done, and that's the side with our chickens. And that's because I really am not happy with this chicken area. And we're going to, before this episode ends, move those somewhere else more permanently. But once that is done, the only thing left on our core area for the main design is the ceiling, the waterways, and the 2 end caps. I've got some ideas for that and we will slowly start to work on those. But for now, we have plenty of space to start putting machines and expanding our create setup. And that's what we're gonna work on today. If we start down here, you'll see we finally got our boilers running 24/7 and the shafts are not breaking. Essentially what was happening is we were generating somewhere between 10 and 20,000 more SU than our steam engines could handle. So they can only handle 16,000 SU a piece, and there was more than that. So it was causing the shafts to break. They've been running for a couple live hours now without any issue. So we added an additional row of steam engines, and that seems to be working. Over here you can see we're using just a wee bit of our 294,912 SU. And if we move on down, you can see we optimize our lava and water like we talked about in the previous episode. Well, I say optimize. I use that phrase loosely here because really, it isn't really that much more effective. So we did add 2 additional item drains to both the water and the lava. And we added these additional conveyors. They're sped all the way up. And we're using a mechanical arm to move them from the back conveyor to this front conveyor. I'm sure there's better ways of setting this up. This is just the way I done it. But we're still limited by the single in pipe and mechanical pump being used for the fluids. So we're either gonna have to rewire the bottom again after I spend a couple of hours cleaning it up. So we have 3 going in and then that will give us 3 going out. Or I think this is plenty enough lava and water to power all of our create stuff. So if we decide to continue using this further, we can use some pipes and pull it away from the create area. Because I've drastically scaled back my create plans for this series. We're still gonna build some really cool contraptions and maybe get into trains, but we're gonna keep the create stuff to this side and the top floor. So basically this whole side of the base instead of both sides of the base. So on this side, we'll look at adding some more traditional machines and setups I like to do. Because the create stuff, although it is a ton of fun and it looks very cool, it's not really efficient at moving around a lot of fluids quickly or crafting a lot of items quickly. And it just takes up so much space, but it does look cool. You can see we've compacted this setup so we're getting our sturdy sheets in a much smaller footprint. We still need to speed these up, but I don't have another rotational device that speeds up the rotation. We need to bring over our precision belt process and get it set up so we can make some more of those. We could make them over there, but my goal before this episode ends is to replicate everything that we have over there over here and expand it and make it more efficient. And we're going to set up a new area for our chickens as well as our first major storage area. That's some pretty ambitious goals, but that's also why I've been working on this base nonstop for probably half a day, minus the 3 hours that we streamed and worked on that over there, just getting all this cleaned up. And I did leave a small hole here, so we're gonna head down you can see where I've started to clean up and decorate what we're going to call our basement area or our maintenance area, whatever you want to call it. We'll have a couple ways to get down here. It's going to be a real basic design. We're going to use the brick bond spruce planks for the floor, and we're going to use stone bricks for the walls. And the ceiling will be whatever is from above. We do have a lot of the shaft uncovered, and that's because I want to see the main chunk lines just so I can keep track of everything. So over here, we have a slight issue. So while cleaning all this up and connecting stuff, I have discovered a couple of things. And one of those things I've discovered is that we're only getting 43,000 SU from our water wheels. And at this point, I have connected them all, and I'll show you how we have them connected. I've went down, I've checked them again. I need to check them really good. So I kind of just skipped through and checked to make sure they were all creating 256. They seem to be, and I feel like I have them all connected, but we're only generating 43,000 SU. So I need to look into that a little bit, but I'm calling this our core network or our backbone. So this is only powering our boilers and our process for getting water and lava and our main chunk lines for moving water and lava around. So we don't accidentally lose power at our boiler and stuff cuts off. The boilers are going to power all of our other machines and setups. So we're really going to start using a lot of that power soon. But you can see we have our lava coming out from here. It splits and one goes that way and one goes this way to our boilers. We also have water going down this way, and the fast shaft is our backbone network and the slow shaft is our core network that we're going to use to power all our machines. And if we head back down to that new area, I forgot to highlight something that I want to show you guys. Ooh, before we do that, let's do a 180. This is where we've connected everything. We haven't cleaned it up and dressed it up. We're going to bring this shaft and gearbox and the encased shaft design into our core design somehow. I just haven't decided yet. But for now, I have all of our water wheels connected in the middle. And then down at the end is where we are running them into a rotational speeder upper gizmo, whatever this thing's called, a rotation speed controller. And then from there, they're getting fed into a stressometer so we can keep track of our capacity and usage. And then that's getting fed into the main line. There won't be too much more of this being used because see, we're already using almost half. We'll have a few more pumps maybe and some additional lava and water being moved around. I don't know at the moment, but let's head back upstairs, take one last look at one additional item, and then we're going to wrap it up. So you can see over here we have added kind of a core area of water and lava and rotational speed, so we can connect to this on both of our floors. So we have one here and we have one on the second floor. Well, technically it's the same one. I kind of cheated because if I had broke these up, I would have had to added another mechanical pump in between these. So it's really just one solid tank that comes all the way up, but I can connect to it on both floors. We haven't brought up the shaft for our SU power yet, but we will do that before the episode's over. I don't know if we'll get to the point where we put anything up here, but we may. We should have plenty of area. Even with scaled back create ideas, we should still have more than enough area. But I think that's enough of an explanation. I need to catch my voice, and then we're gonna get started on today's first task. So I'm pretty happy with the setup. This is our Precision Belt Maker 2.0. This should reload itself in theory once we set a filter. So we're going to go ahead and load up our deployers. So the first one is small gears. The middle one is big gears. And the last one is iron nuggets. And we can add some more down the road. We're only going to do a couple to test. We do need to grab a filter for this to work. So let me go grab that real quick. I thought I had some filters made. Let's go back to our base and come right back. So I did have some filters. They were just over at our base. So we're going to stick the other ones in here. We're going to hold on this for now. What we're going to do now is stick a gold plate in there and see if this works. We're going to stick one gold plate. We do need to grab our wrench. Yep, and it should go through the process. And then if we turn that one, it should shoot it back out. Why is it stuck? Oh, noob mistake. And we'll need one down here as well. And it'll go back through. And we'll wait for it to loop around. I think it's 5 times. Is that right? Precision belt. 5 times, yes. Oh, it's done. So we're going to grab that when it comes back around. And what we're going to do is we're going to filter and we are going to deny list. Yeah, deny. And then we're going to add the precision belt. So now, if we apply that filter to here, shift click maybe. There we go. It won't allow the finished precision mechanism through, so they'll end up here. We actually, if we wanted to make this a little easier, let's do it this way. Let's pull that filter off and apply it to this. Ooh, stuck. Apply it to this one right here, so we can grab them from here. Very nice. Very nice. Yep. And we can go ahead and do a few more. Just to test everything. It shouldn't let the... Yep, it will let those through. All right. So I think this is good to go. So we're going to call this job done. I'll probably continue to optimize and work on this stuff as we see a need for it. But we're going to get started on our next task. So we have added a new area off one of our hallways that we left for expansion. And we added 2 additional rooms where we've continued our really cool design that we're using with the deep slate, the spruce, and the tuff, as well as the diorite ceiling. Definitely let me know in the comments what you guys think about this design. This is pretty much a lock at this point. We may continue to make a few tweaks. One of these rooms we're going to use for our chickens, so it'll pull them away from our main area. So hopefully that'll help with lag and rendering in the main area. And over here we're going to set up our first combined storage. So we're going to set up a whole bunch of storage drawers, set up a controller, and we're going to use that until we get into applied energistics. If we head out towards the main area, you'll see in the wall you can see the water eggs. I'm not sure what I think about this. Let me know what you guys think. We may end up moving that and the lava egg setup somewhere else. So one, it doesn't look as cluttered over here, which it wasn't too bad, but the addition of having to knock out the wall, I don't really like that. But the reason I done that, and it don't look as bad on this side, but the reason I done that is I didn't want the process bumped up against the polished cut crimsite. I wanted a little bit of wood in between it, so that's why we done that. I tried it both ways, and I thought that way looked better. But we have a continued issue. This is driving me nuts. I do not know what is causing this. I thought it was because we were producing more SU than our steam boilers could handle, but now it's busted again. And now I'm starting to think maybe it's these chain drives. So the next thing we're going to do is get rid of these chain drives. So for the 4th time, our steam engines have all popped off and nothing is running, and I'm going to have to replace all these shafts and go through and check all the lines because it pops them in the lines. Nothing is running at all. Very, very annoying to have to stop what I'm working on and figure that out. And that means I can't really demo some of the changes we made over here. So we've tweaked this a little bit. So just like we're able to filter our precision belts, I think that's what those things are called. Let's take a look in this chest. This is where they're located at. Precision mechanism. They look like belts. I cannot get over that. We've also done that to our sturdy casing. So now once the sturdy casing is done, which it only runs through once, and anything else that needs to go through here, it'll send it back. There's a filter here to keep it from looping. So now if we put it in here, it'll eventually make its way back, so we don't have to go hit that chest in the back. I thought that was a pretty cool touch. You may notice a few other additional little small tweaks that we had to make to combine and make all this work. And I'm trying to make our create stuff as compact as possible, but I want to be able to walk around it. And this is kind of making me claustrophobic. I hate to say this, but we're probably going to end up moving all of this over just one block so it looks less cluttered. We'll just see. We'll see. I haven't started moving anything else over. We need to add our rotational speed upper thingy. So we got a lot to do. But I think what we're going to do now is, well, one, fix our steam engines, and then work on getting some storage drawers set up so we can move all of our stuff over before we start bringing over the rest of our create machines. That is what we're going to do. We finally have a storage room. I'm pretty happy with the way this turned out. Things will change as we continue to work on our base and bring stuff in and actually start using it, because I'm not sure exactly how many compacting drawers we'll need how many of these ender drawers we'll need, and we'll get into how these work later in today's episode or in the next couple of episodes. We added a whole bunch of the 2x2s and the 1x1s. I didn't add any of the ones that have 2 slots because I didn't really see a need for it. We can just add upgrades and use the 2x2s and the singles. And as we see what we actually need, we'll probably swap some of these out. This is just a core design to get us started. There is a hole in the back because I need to get in here to do some work before we close it up. So we will be adding 2 more drawers. And I changed the design up a little bit just to kind of go with the room. So we added some polished cut tough around our drawers, and then we added some of the slabs above. I think it turned out pretty good. Definitely let me know in the comments what you guys think. So with functional storage, you get a block called a storage controller, and it can control all of the drawers within a 15 block radius, I believe. And with previous versions of similar mods, they used to have to touch. Now they don't have to touch. There is a linking card, and you can already see I've already started linking some, but I think it's in linking mode. So we click the controller, and then we can link additional. Whoa, there we go. See, now they're linking, I think. I am not sure. Oh, sweet. I can do multi-link mode. Link drawers to controller. So now all of those controllers, or excuse me, drawers should be linked. I might need to like do more than that. Like do like something like this. Go to this corner. Yeah, now all of those are linked to the controller. And what that means is once we start moving our chickens over, which we're about to do, we can use pipes, which is what we're going to get into next, something new, and pipe all of our stuff over directly into this controller, and it'll put things where they need to go. So I cannot wait to get started on that. Some additional things that have changed since we were last running around our base is I've added some Indesia around these, so I think I'm going to leave that for now. Definitely let me know what you guys think, if I should move it or leave it, but for now we're going to leave it. It's not as bothering me as bad. And something that I cannot believe I haven't done yet is add elevators to our core area here. So now we have elevators, one on each side here and then one on each end. So we can go up and down without having to go all the way down to the stairs, because we got building blocks in the hallway here, and we've got a bunch of create stuff in the hallway here, plus our trash can. And I've been going all the way down to the stairs, up and back and forth, just wasting a lot of time. Kind of a derpy moment to realize, wait, I can just craft a whole bunch of elevators and save some time. But I think what we're going to do now is I'm going to continue to tweak our storage drawers, and we've been putting it off, but we're going to get our chickens moved over into this room. And man, am I excited to get that done. We are making so much progress today. I am feeling incredibly happy with the results of today's work. Or the last couple of days, I should say. What is going to be a 30 to 40 minute video for you guys was 2 to 3 days of solid grinding, getting our base cleaned up, organized, and things moved around. We're kind of at the point where we can really start using our new area and getting a whole bunch of stuff set up. We're not going to get to setting up any more create in this episode because we're kind of running short on time. But with that said, I'm probably going to do that before we start on the next episode. So definitely join me on the next stream or two. We're going to be working on getting that area over there finished so it looks like the rest. And we're also going to pull over all of our crate stuff. There's really no need to include that in an episode again because we've already done it once. Although it'll probably be upgraded a little bit and we'll go over it in detail in the next episode. We've also added these crafting stations to the main area. So behind each column, there are 3, which is very useful. So it doesn't matter which section of the base you're in, there are crafting stations available. See, there's 3 more over there. We've also added a way to get down to our maintenance area so we could fill in this last remaining janky hole. And if we head over to where we've been working on our chickens, I'm sure that's what you guys want to see. So I worked on this a few times, swapped out a few different blocks until we got a design we were happy with. We went back with andesiite casing with the roost combo, and we were getting into a mod called pipes, which we have some here on us. In order to kind of configure and manage these, you need the pipe wrench, which is a pretty easy recipe. It's just 2 brass rods and 2 pieces of flint. And you can already tell it's a whole lot less laggy than the way it was before with all the chutes and chests. It was just a lot of entities sitting in the same chunk. And if we pop out this wall for just a brief moment, I can kind of show you how it's set up. So these pipe mods, it doesn't actually have any entities as soon as it hits the pipe, which is really awesome for cutting down on lag. And you need the wrench to put them in export mode, which is why it has this little cup on the end. And once they're like this, you can right click on them and you can add these pipe upgrades, you can add filters, you can make them redstone sensitive, you can do all sorts of things. But to be honest, even with 3 level 10 maxed out chickens, the default transfer of 4 items every 20 seconds is more than enough to keep up with this. So we didn't add any upgrades to these, and I'm pretty happy about that. You can see it loops all the way around. It's all one single connection. And if we put our blocks back, we can head into our storage area where we can look at the rest. Let's eat real quick. Our food's getting kind of low. We've also added some crafting stations over here, and we'll kind of continue to add some here and there. You can see we've also started bringing over some of the resources from our starter area, and I'll show you how we're doing that in just a moment. But if we pop in here, you can see where it is connected to our storage controller. And since it's connected to our storage controller, which is linked to all of these storage drawers, it's automatically sorting everything. We also have an ender chest here. This is from Ender Storage. You're able to color code these across the top. I have mine all red. And when you add a diamond to the front, it locks it to your player, so only you can see inside of it. That gives us the ability to open this ender pouch, which you can see is linked to that ender chest. And we can dump things into the pouch, and then it will go into our storage system, which is what you guys saw me doing with all of those chickens. I got so tired of doing that. I ended up breaking a whole row of the chests, and I thought it was going to crash the server. I had so many entities laying at my feet because of the magnet, but it gave me the ability to just shift and push things into the ender chest, which then got pulled into our storage drawer. And the reason it was able to keep up is because if we look at this export, you can see we have an ultimate pipe upgrade. This thing is insane at the pace that it can do. But that, for the most part, is everything we're going to get to today. We are going to head over to our starter area where I can show you guys how we are pulling our inventory over, because I want to also, in between episodes, push all of our resources over to the new area, which is going to help accelerate us moving and starting to use our new area. So now that we're over at our starter area, you can see we've got some pipes here set up temporarily on these storage drawers. We can go ahead and break these off. Oh, we forgot to do this. Well, we can do this on manual. We'll just pull everything out. It's only 400. It's not a whole lot. and we'll stick those into the controller, or excuse me, into the ender chest, which is then sending it into the controller. And I don't know if I mentioned it, but I have all of the drawers that are empty locked, so it can't decide where it wants to put things. So we have to go over there and manually map everything, which we have already mapped quite a few things that are over here. And the one I have not been looking forward to doing is that cobble. We're going to go ahead and hook this up. We need some of our item pipe. And then we need to shift click this, put it into export mode. And then we want to, on this one, add an advanced pipe upgrade so it can pull that cobble out just a little bit faster. And is it not functioning? I'm only seeing another right. Did it already fill up the amount it could hold? I think that's what happened. So let's grab some of these other upgrades. I will work on this in between episodes. There's no need to keep you guys for this. I'm just going to work on getting all of our resources moved over, like I mentioned, and getting our chicken area cleaned up, meaning our old chicken area, and finishing off that side of our mega base, as well as start bringing over all of our crate stuff. So I have quite the list to do for in between episode work, but I am confident that I can get it knocked out. I am so happy, like I said earlier, the progress that we are making on our mega base. This place is starting to look incredible. We got a really nice design going. Our boiler is running, it's not breaking. I am feeling really good. So how about we go ahead and wrap today's episode up? I almost forgot, we cannot end the episode without closing out a few quests. And we actually have a few quests we've already completed by getting into pipes, functional storage, and a few other items. So let's take a look and see what quests we completed today. If we open up our quest book, we're gonna go to storage first. You can see we got 4 right here. So functional storage drawers, the storage controller, the armory cabinet, which we did build, we're just not using it yet, and one of the upgrades. Some of this stuff we already have been using, but since we didn't have this compacting drawer until just now, it finished off the first one, and then we done these others. Now, if we go take a look at miscellaneous, we have 2 for pipes. We'll go ahead and accept the rewards for those. And let's see what goodies we got. Did we get anything good? We got, I think I already had those upgrades. We got advanced pop upgrade. I'm really not seeing too much. We got an anvil, that's cool. A couple ender storage drawers, that'll be useful. And junk. Skillet we can probably use down the road. A chiseled bits back, junk. And an iron wand, definitely junk. But you know what? It was worth it to get the quest completions. My goal moving forward is to do at least 5 quests per episode until we get into the harder to do quests. But now it is time to wrap things up. As always, I hope you guys have enjoyed today's episode. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you have any suggestions or feedback, please leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe. This is Agro Ninja, and that's a wrap.